Hey, Juan, I've made some money and want to buy an UltraBook. Could you give me some suggestions? Never mind the price.
Sure. The Dell XPS13 Plus with such light body, i7 processor, and Evo certification sells only $2,800.
That's great.
I've saved some money, Juan. Which UltraBook is suitable for me? The budget is up to $800.
Yes! The Acer Swift3 with such light body, i7 processor, and Evo certification sells only $800. It can fit your budget.
Wait, they're both UltraBook with i7 processor, for what I should pay $2,800, but he only needs to pay $800? I'm not an idiot.
Bro, that's where you're wrong. Now let me tell you something. Why the two Evo certified laptops with same i7 processor have such big difference on price? To figure it out, we bought 3 Evo certified laptops with price from $800 to $2,800, which are the entry-level to high-end models of UltraBook. They are adopted with i7 1-6OP and 96EU Iris IGPU, but the specs are different with different level of price. The RAM of Swift3 is Elder 4X and that of Zenbook 14, and XPS13 Plus is LPDDR5. Displays are more differentiated. Swift3 uses 16:9 2000 screen, while Zenbook 14 and XPS13 use 16:10 screen with higher resolution and wider color gamut, but the refresh rate of XPS13 is 60 Hz, not the top one. The 3 laptops all get the latest Evo 3.0 certification. The Evo focuses on the real experience of the laptop, thus its first requirement of laptops is to be fast. That can be directly shown by fast activation. All 3 can be activated instantly once the screen is flipped, more sensitive than gaming laptops. Evo also requires laptops to have biometric unlocking. In the 3 laptops, Swift3 and Zenbook 14 use Touch ID to unlock, while XPS13 Plus is optional Touch and Face ID. If you use Face ID, you can just open the screen without any actions. You can also unlock the laptop with Touch ID in a second. Whatever you choose is faster than entering passcode. But fast is not enough. If it runs out of power within 2 hours, it won't be great. So long battery life is contained in the Evo requirements. Let's use PC Mark X Modern Office to simulate battery life under mild work. Swift3 and Zenbook 14 can last more than 9 hours, and XPS13 Plus may consume more power for high resolution, only lasts for over 8 hours. It's okay for daily work around 4 to 5 hours, but comparing to others, they should be improved for a longer battery life in the later BIOS update. However, charging is a solution for low battery life, thus, the latest Evo requires laptops to support quick charge. We kept all 3 computers on 10% power and charged them for 30 minutes. You can see that they all got charged over 40%, which means if your laptop is out of battery, you can just charge it for tens of minutes, enough for the Evo certified laptops to operate for hours. Moreover, they are equipped with compact PD charge, which is portable and can charge the phone, achieving multiple usage. After battery life and charging, it comes to our traditional performance test. The Evo 3.0 standard has added a platform restriction that only a 12th Gen Intel Core adopted model can be certified, so the performance of 12th Gen Intel Core represents that of Evo certified model. They adopt i7 1-6OP processor of P28 series, which uses hybrid architecture, has 4 P cores and 8 E cores. In the product specification of Intel, it is of the P series processor. It not only changed the architecture but also had more cores. That's too much. In the Cinebench R20 test, the 3 laptops got similar single-core performance at around 650 points, which is up about 13% from i7 1165G7. The advantage of new architecture is clearly. When we tested their multi-core performance, the 3 performed quite different with same i7 1-6OP processor. At first, the points of XPS13 Plus and Swift3 were close and Asus Zenbook failed to compete. In the 4th benchmark, the differences appeared. The points of Swift3 began to fall while XPS13 Plus stayed about the same. It's really dull. Swift3 went up again and left Dell behind. They got the same score after 2 rounds and Swift3 passed Dell again, back and forth. More expensive price doesn't mean better performance. Although XPS13 Plus has steady performance, the Swift 3 has higher overall benchmark. Compared with the model with 11th Gen core of last year, the scores of the 3 had increased over 1,000 points, even if you only had E-core. When you stack them up, the improvement is significant. Evo certification was limited to low-voltage processors in previous years, but Intel added the H45 standard processor to it this year. For some Ultrabooks with H45 processor, the points would be higher. Since the Ultrabooks need to be used while going out, a good performance without plugged in is also required by Evo. We did enter 20 circulation unplugging, and their ranking changed. XPS13 Plus won the first place with the least performance decay. There was a certain decrease in scores of Zenbook 14 and Swift 3, but even the Zenbook 14 at the lowest score has an improvement over the Ultrabooks with 11th Gen core of last year. That means the Evo certified Ultrabooks can keep stable performance and run as usual without plugged in. Then the GPU, the IGPU improvement of 12th Gen core is relatively small. The architecture and EU remain unchanged while clock speed was improved a bit. However, 12th Gen core added support for DDR5 and LPDDR5. The higher specs the RAM is, the less defect the IGPU has on bandwidth. Among the 3 laptops, the cheapest Swift 3 uses Elder 4X RAM, Zenbook 14 and XPS13 Plus use LPDDR5, while the latter has faster clock speed. It can be seen from the benchmark that the reading bandwidth of LPDDR5 is faster than Elder 4X but has longer latency at over 100 nanoseconds. As they have the same specs of IGPU, the benchmark is basically proportional to memory bandwidth. In TimeSpy and Phi, XPS13 Plus with the fastest clock speed performed best. In Superposition Classroom, the 3 laptops performed at the same level. The theoretical benchmark is not enough as the Evo focuses on the performance in real life. Ultrabooks are most frequently used in workplace, so I test them in Office and Edge with PC Mark 10. In Edge browser, we can see they have improved a lot compared with 11th Gen core ones, among which Zenbook 14 performed slightly better. The cheapest Swift 3 performed the best in PPT test, and the other 2 did about the same, better than the models of last year. They got similar scores in Excel, but a step forward in comparison to models of last year. While in the Word test, except the lower score of XPS13 Plus, the other 2 scored at the same level as last year's models. All in all, the Evo 3.0 certified models show significant progress in the performance of Safari, PPT, and Excel. The 3 laptops have little differences, enough for work. The benchmarks only reflect the performance of Evo certified laptops, but in the office, the experience of video conferencing is important. The 3 laptops adopt AI noise reduction based on Intel GNA 3.0, which can reduce the noise and support AI Beautify. Let me have a try. Now turn off the noise reduction of Acer Zenbook 14. Turn on the noise reduction. Noise reduction of Acer Swift 3 on. Noise reduction of Dell XPS13 Plus on. It turns out they have different effects on noise reduction, but can all make the voice clearer. For example, the noise of air conditioner is inaudible. It would be useful for video conferees. Of course, many people buy laptops not only for business, so we also tested some online games FPS for your reference. None of the 3 computers had high frames under native resolution. Neither Dota 2 nor Genshin Impact could run smoothly, because Ultrabooks generally improved screen resolution. 2000 screens are becoming common for computers over $750. Such high resolution has put too much pressure on the IGPU. The FPS may be higher if the resolution decreased to 1080p, enough to enjoy the games, like doing the daily missions. It can be seen that the Evo certified Ultrabooks are ideal for work but not for games. But is it true that we can't use Ultrabooks to play online games? Remember that Thunderbolt 4 is loaded. The port can be used to connect mobile HD, monitor, and external graphic amplifier. I've borrowed RTX 3090 from my friend. Let's have a try. As the power brick of amplifier failed to power the graphic, I borrowed a 1000 watts power brick, then plug in the 4144 monitor. Here comes a gaming hose. Let's try those online games again. Now the laptop can run the 3 games smoothly, though the frame rate doesn't seem high. The screen has 4000 resolution. We also tested 2 single-player games. Tomb Raider could reach 70 Fps at the highest quality. Frame rate of Metro Exodus is lower, at 51 Fps under 4000 resolution. Though external graphic would cause some performance penalty, the results are much better than UltraBook alone. Its performance on content creation has also been improved with external graphic. It couldn't beat the gaming laptops, but could perform like some basic ones. It's competent for some works. So the Evo certified laptops have huge docking potential with Thunderbolt 4 that can even act like desktops, just need some money. Juan, you just mentioned the common features of Evo certified laptops. As you said, they are about the same. Why should I spend extra $1,500 for one? To tell the truth, you get what you pay off. It's natural that more expensive product shows higher price premium. Take it easy. Now comes to their differences. To me, Evo certification concerns much for utility. Once the laptop has passed the Evo approval, its user experience can basically reach the standard at 70 points, and the rest 30 points depends on the vendors. The most obvious distinction of the 3 laptops lies in the exterior. In terms of the build of body, though the cheapest Swift 3 is made of metal, the surface sends quite normal and the lid couldn't be opened by one hand. At about 17mm height, it's just an ordinary UltraBook. Zenbook 14 seems more advanced with beveled lines on the lid and more delicate tactile impression. The touchpad is larger and can change into a numpad. The most expensive XPS13 Plus has the best build, adopting CNC process and height controlled at around 15mm. The most amazing part should be the base panel design. Have you ever seen a frameless touchpad? Dell hid the touchpad under glass, giving a large touch area and excellent vibration feedback, so you can get used to it in practice. The above function area is concealed, which can be switched through FN, but it just feels like tapping the glass. I hope Dell will install vibration feedback in the function area. XPS has spent much effort on the keyboard too. A set of full-scale keycap can rarely be seen in a 13-inch UltraBook that it almost takes up all the base panel breadthways. Its keyboard also feels the best of the 3 laptops. There is no significant difference among the 3 laptops in weight, all around 1.3 kilograms. In terms of build and exterior, the 3 laptops have their own values. The cheaper Swift 3 is of general level, Zenbook 14 is more advanced, while the XPS13 Plus over $1,500 can be a handicraft. Is there any price of such exquisite build? Sure. First is the port. There are only 2 Thunderbolt 4 without any 3.5mm headphone jack. Though the ultra-thin body leaves a great impression, it has limited the number and variety of ports. In contrast, Swift 3 and Zenbook 14 have various ports, like Sub-A and HDMI, so they don't need to rely on docking station. Another obvious distinction is the screen. The screen specs is basically proportional to the price. Swift 3 installs a regular 2000 display with 100 Shrieby color gamut, while Zenbook 14 and XPS13 Plus use 16:10 OLED screen with wide color gamut and high resolution that is more suitable for office. But the 60 Hz refresh rate of XPS13 Plus is not so good as that of Zenbook 14. It would be perfect with a 90 Hz or 120 Hz screen. From the test data, we can see the color coverage can meet our expectation that it could conform to the rated value. But Swift 3 has normal color accuracy that only suitable for daily use. Zenbook 14 did the best. It not only has its own color correction document and can limit the scale of different color gamut, but also has the best color accuracy. But XPS13 Plus doesn't have color management, performs below expectation on color accuracy, and shows oversaturation for Shrieby content. However, under HDR mode, the laptop has accurate Shrieby, with average delta E at 0.63. We know that HDR mode is used for watching HDR content of wide color gamut, but it shows accuracy on displaying SDR content. Isn't that a kind of neat PR? Then let's see the maximum brightness. Swift 3 has a brightness of 367 nits and the other two are around 400 nits. And the OLED screen they used would lead the widget be brighter under HDR mode at around 600 nits. Both the two OLED laptops adopt DC dimming under high luminance and start PWM dimming after brightness drops below certain level. Swift 2 with IPS screen uses full brightness DC dimming. Under high brightness, the effect of eye protection is similar among the three, while under low brightness Swift 3 performs better. In terms of screen hardware specs, the more expensive laptop has better specs, but the actual usage links to optimized software. The overall quality of XPS13 Plus is inferior to Zenbook 14, but the IPS screen with Shrieby color gamut of Swift 3 is convenient enough to do daily business. Aside from the obvious difference between screens, hard drive is another hidden point. Everyone knows that price decides the capacity of hard drive, but when it comes to its models, the three laptops show differences. Zenbook 14 and XPS13 Plus can read near 7,000 megabytes per second and write 5,000 megabytes per second. A P-Seal of 4.0 disk that Swift 3 installed performed as well as Pickle 3.0x4, and after the cache was run out, writing speed dropped to 100 megabytes per second. If the exterior, build, screen, and hard disk are related to the price, thermals are less relevant to the price. We test them by stressing CPU for 30 minutes. The power consumption of Zenbook 14 is similar to that of XPS13 Plus, but its core temperature is too high. Swift 3 has the best thermals with fluctuated power consumption, but it could maintain temperature below 80 degrees Celsius, much better than the other two. The exterior temperature shows similar features. Swift 3 is the coolest one. There is a high temperature zone of 44 degrees Celsius on XPS13 Plus. Zenbook 14 performed worse though. It has the lowest power consumption, but the highest keyboard temperature in the stress test, and the hottest key cap reached 48 degrees Celsius. The noise of Swift 3 is quite quiet as that of XPS13 Plus, and Zenbook 14 sound noisier than the other two laptops at 51.3 decibel. To conclude, Swift 3 did the best in terms of thermals, though it's the cheapest one. XPS13 Plus performed quite satisfactory, but not outstanding, just enough for daily use. The thermal performance of Zenbook 14 is out of my expectation. Its core temperature, surface temperature, and noise performance were the worst. It may due to its thermal specs of single fan and heat pipe. Have you learned something about the differences and similarities of the three EVO certified laptops? They've all got the latest EVO 3.0 certification that support utility functions like speedy activation, fast charging, AI noise reduction, and Thunderbolt 4. They have more improved performance without plugged-in in comparison with the last generation's UltraBooks. Therefore, if you know little about laptops, the EVO logo can help you avoid some pitfalls. You can have the user experience of over 70 points if you purchase EVO certified models. 70 points. But different price of EVO certified laptops have their own focus. The build of exterior is proportional to the price that Swift 3 is the most ordinary one, and XPS13 Plus can be a handicraft. The screen quality is relevant to the price but also depends on the software tuning. Swift 3 is still normal, and Zenbook 14 performs better than XPS for its color correction and gamut switch. Ports, thermals, and other performance has more to do with laptop height than price. The thinnest XPS13 Plus has the fewest ports and moderate thermal capacity, while the cheapest Swift 3 has the best thermal performance. If you decide to buy an EVO certified laptop, choose it based on your own needs. If you are a businessman who has enough budget and needs no more external devices, choose XPS13 Plus. If you take the screen quality seriously, Zenbook 14 is the best. If you have no requirements, Swift 3 has the lowest price and fewest drawbacks that could be regarded as a super laptop for everyman. It also has an i5 1240p version, sells only $675, which is the most cost-effective one. That's all of this video. Please hit like and subscribe to our channel. If you want to interact with me, please hit the bell for our new reviews of laptops. All we want is to provide info and guidance. This is Biba Laptops. I'm Juan. See you next time.